put up the question there. It says, I get the feeling that many object to Christianity because morality is too restrictive or too hard. What advice would you have to those struggling with or fearful of Christian morality?
Yeah, great question, Ashley. Too restrictive or too hard? That's a great description. So I guess something that's been in my mind over the last few days actually has been about athletes. There's a lot in the news at the moment about athletes training for the Olympics that are now a year delayed and not able to do such rigorous training because they can't get out of their houses. They're kind of locked in. Yeah, I really feel for them. I mean, I just don't know what that means to give up that much time to practice a sport. They're just amazing athletes. But if we put ourselves in that mindset of someone who's willing to give up incredible amounts of things for their dream, and their dream is basically to be a gold medalist, I suppose, or the equivalent of that, depending on the championship. They'll give up their sleep, they'll give up their free time, they'll give up their diet, they'll give up time with family, they'll give up so many things in order to pursue this goal. When I sit down to a steak or a curry or something kind of that they wouldn't be eating, I guess I would think of their way of life as too restrictive or too hard, because I just think I just couldn't do that. I just couldn't run or do the training they do. From the outside, I would see that as oppressive. But what it's allowing them to do is to be the best, to be physically the best they can be. And they measure everything in detail so that they can be the best in their field. We are entrusted with a great treasure as sons and daughters of God, as baptized Christians, as Jesus Christ living in this world. We all are. Everyone listening to this is Jesus Christ. If they're baptized, we're icons of Christ to the world. For that reason, we want to be the best, not in terms of a competition. We're not interested in gold medals. We're not interested. St. Paul says this, I'm not interested in a wreath that withers, he says, but in a wreath that will never wither. What does that mean? Heaven, the reward of heaven, the reward of true happiness. And so what am I willing to give up, basically, for that? If that is truly what will make me happy, if God truly wants to make me happy, then what he's asking of me is the equivalent of all that junk food that the athlete, gives up, but so much bigger. When we're talking about the level of the soul, the level of the heart, yeah, Lord Jesus, we want to give things up. We want to give up what's damaging us. And why is it hard? Because we want it. Because we want to keep hold of it. So it's hard. This journey is a hard one. But it's not a hard one without an end. It's hard because it's purifying us. It's hard because there's happiness at the end of it. True happiness that I could never imagine, that I could never create for myself. So I'd want to say to Ashley and to every one of us that, yeah, I guess it could look like that. But when we measure it against what we're fighting for and what we're hoping for and what we've been promised, all of a sudden these things pale away. I'm sure these gold medalists would say, do you know what? I'd do it all again because I love the journey. Do you know what? I'd get up at whatever it is, 3 a.m. every morning again. We want to say that as well. Lord Jesus, may I be happy to give up all these things all over again because I've got you. May nothing come between you and me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much again, Father Matt.
My pleasure.
And if I can remind you, if you haven't subscribed or you haven't liked or please do that, because we have great guests like Father Matt coming on, and we have lots of great people that I'm working to get on here, and this is really good content for you guys, and it's really good content for me, and this is why it's great to share with such wisdom of people like Father Matt. But without further ado, I will see you all next Wednesday at 7 p.m.